Okay, sit down class. So children, today we are going to start a new lesson, that is the wind. Okay, the wind, written by Santhini Govindan. Clear? Santhini Govindan. So here children, the wind. So before entering into the lesson, before entering into the poem, I would like to ask you one very simple question, that is wind. So anyone who is interested to tell what is the definition of wind? Okay, a strong breeze is known as wind. Okay, a wind which has power in itself that it can sail the boats, it can rattle the wind. Okay, then it can shuffle the windmills. These are various adjectives we have for wind. Clear? So we can describe wind as it rattles. Clear? Then it shuffles. Then anything else? Strong breeze. So now in this, the poet, that is Santhini Govindan, she is describing, she is comparing the wind with a human being. Okay, with a human being the poetess is describing. Why? Because the wind, it is invisible. Can you see wind? No, we cannot see, but we can feel the wind. We can hear the sound. Yes or no? Whenever there is a strong breeze, what happens? We can hear easily, we can hear the sound. Such shrill voice is easily audible in our ears at the time of rain, at the time of storm, or else any cyclones. Clear? So here, come to the book. The wind is such a strange and amazing being. So here being refers to human being. Okay, it has no legs, yet it travels far and wide. So now the poet Santhini, she is telling us that though the wind, it has no legs, it has no no such have that power to walk from one place to another, but it can travel from one place to another by moving the things. It soars up to clouds, climbs mountain peaks, swirls across sandy deserts, sweeps over the seaside. These are again the adjectives which are used for the wind. Okay, it soars up the clouds, it flies up the clouds, it helps the clouds to move from one place to another. Then it climbs, the wind climbs the mountain peak of the mountain. Then it crosses the deserts areas and swirls the sand which is available in the desert areas and sweeps over the seaside. Sweep over the seaside, just at the side of the sea, in the beach, what happened? The wind sweeps itself. Sweeps itself means the wind is bit calm. Okay. The wind has no tongue. So now again Santhini, she tells us that first of all she said that the wind has no legs. So now the wind has no tongue, yet we can hear its voice. I already told you that we can hear the voice of the wind at the time of any strong breeze, like cyclone, like storm, anything such. When it whispers, whistles, hums and sighs. So these are the adjectives of voice of the wind. Okay, in the wind it speaks, it has sound, it can make sound while traveling, while moving. Then when it rains and a storm comes along, we can hear the wind as it howls and cries. So whenever there is a rain, whenever there is a storm, the wind makes a loud sound which is easily understandable, which is easily heard by the human beings. So that is referred to as howls. Clear? H-O-W-L-S, howls. When we can hear the wind as it howls and cries. Now next comes, the wind has no muscles, yet it lifts and carries away rooftops. So now the poet Santhini, she is telling us that the wind, it is not a human being that it will have leg, it will have tongue, it will have mouth to speak, but it has the power to carry something in it and to deposit it in the any other destination. Okay, so it has that much of muscle power. See, it is given, the wind has no muscles, yet it lifts and carries away rooftop. So what does it do? It carries the rooftops of whom? Of the buildings, of the roofs. Okay, and deposit it in somewhere. So and easily uproot tall and strong trees. It snatches umbrellas right out of our hands. So at the time of storm, what happens? What is the scenario, children? The wind is such powerful that it snatches from all the things from us. It flies away our clothes, it flies away our umbrellas. Yes or no? It snatches away the umbrella from us, and what does it do? It carries away the rooftop, it pulls off the uproot the trees, the plants. Yes or no? And pulls the houses, buildings with ease. So very easily the wind pulls down all the trees very easily, with a very ease, the wind, it carries away the rooftop, it carries away the snatches the umbrella. Okay, uproot the trees, plants with a very easeful manner. Though we cannot see the wind, we can feel its presence. So now again in the last thing, in the last stanza, the poetess Santhini, she is telling us that what happens? Though we cannot see the wind, never we can see the wind, but we can always feel its presence. Can we feel the presence now? Can we feel the presence of the wind? No, but we can feel the presence of air, because air is the one which is a very calm feeling of wind. It is a very peaceful wind is known as air, a peaceful breeze, okay, in which we are inhaling and exhaling. So sometimes it's ever so cold and sometimes it feels warm, and though the wind sometimes get cross, sometimes when does it get angry? I know it likes to play. So now the narrator, the poetess Santhini, she tells us that sometimes the wind is very cold and sometimes it is very warm. Sometimes we say no, hot wind, cold wind. Yes or no? It is given. Hot wind is known as Lu and cold wind is known as a storm or a strong breeze. Yes. So now whenever there is a hot wind and cold wind, we can easily rectify, we can easily recognize that the wind is very hot. Yes or no? So now in the last thing, when the wind gets angry, what does it happen? It happens that the poetess tells us that it gives us chance, it is giving us the opportunity to play with a kite. Okay, so that the person who is flying a kite, it can easily fly the kite in the strong wind. When I bring out my kite, the happy wind never does me any harm. So now when in the last part, when in the narrator tells us that when she takes out her kite and comes out to blow the kite in the happy wind, the wind also never does any harm to her, because the wind is very happy that time, and the wind literally wants that somebody would take the chance to feel the opportunity of the wind. Okay, so this is it, the wind. Then the wind has no legs. Underline. Are you all using pencil? Nobody will use pen. Don't use pen. Take. Then the wind has no tongue. Then you underline it whispers. Underline whispers, whistles, hums and sighs. Sometimes get cross. Then we cannot see the wind and still we can feel its presence. Okay. Then underline Santhini Govindan. So question might come, these are the inner question, in text questions. So in text questions might be name the poet of the poem, the wind, in text questions. So what is the, give one, write one adjective of, describe some adjectives of wind. Okay, so these are the adjectives you will use, which I have written some, and it is other some are given in the book, that is whisper, whistles, hums, sighs. Clear children? In this way questions might come in your second terminal. So now tick mark, come to the tick mark. Which word has been used to personify the wind? Personify the wind means comparing. Personify means what? Comparing. With word tells us that the wind can be like a bird. Travels. Put a tick mark there. Number C. Which word makes the wind sound like a wolf? Howls. Put a tick mark there. Howls. Howls. Clear? We will discuss that also. Where does the wind go during it travels? So now the question is, the poet is asking you question that where does the wind go? When does it travel? When the wind is traveling, where does it go? Anybody? Stand up and answer. Yes, the wind travels up to the clouds and climbs up the mountain peaks, swirls across the sandy deserts and sweeps over the seaside. Till there. Clear? Now, though the wind does not have a voice, what sound does it make? What are the sounds of the wind? Girls side. Anybody from girls? Upasana. Your pattern of answering is different. Points. What are the points? Whispers, whistles, hums and sighs. These are the points. Clear? In this way you will write down. Presentation you make some changes. Then who accompanies the rain at certain times? Who accompanies the rain at certain times? Who? Now reference questions. The wind has no muscles, yet it lifts and carries our hands. What does the wind lift? Stand up and speak, children. Anybody? What does the wind lift? What does the wind lift? Yes. Yes, correct. The wind lifts the rooftops of the houses. Then what does it carry away? What does it carry away? Anybody? It carries away the rooftops. Then what does it uproot? Yes, very nice. It easily uproots tall and strong trees. Then what does it snatch? Yes. It snatches away umbrellas from our hands. Next, number B. Though we can't see the wind, we can feel its presence. Which poem has the above line been taken from? The lines have been taken from the which poem? The wind. Now, who is the poet of the poem? Santhini Govindan. How does the poet feel the presence of the wind? How the poet, how does it feel? How she comes to know? How she comes to know that there is something present all around her? Tell me. Because sometimes the wind makes her feel cold and sometimes makes her feel hot. Okay? And when sometimes the wind gets angry, what happens? It allows the narrator, it allows the poet to fly a kite. Clear? Clear? All clear, children? Yes, poem is clear to you? Yes, question.